There's something nobody tells you about women. When a woman wants to sleep with you, I mean truly desires you not just in her head, but in her body, her emotions, her soul. She doesn't come out and say it the way men do. She doesn't say, "I want you," directly. No, she says it in a language many men have never been taught to hear. And that's silence. That subtle shift in tone. That one question she asks with a playful smile. That's the language of desire. But here's the problem. Most men miss it. Not because they're stupid, not because they're weak, but because no one taught them how women speak when they want to be touched, not just physically, but emotionally. So she gives you a signal, a sentence, one small moment of vulnerability. And if you're not the man who understands that, if you rush it, ignore it, or don't know what to do with it, she retreats, just like that, a craving denied, a connection lost. So today, I want to speak to the man who's tired of confusion, tired of wondering what her signals mean, tired of chasing. This video is for you, the man who wants to finally hear her when she doesn't say it loud, but says it with everything she is. We live in a world where hookup culture is louder than ever, but connection is quieter than it's ever been. Men are being told they have to look a certain way, earn a certain amount, move with a certain edge, just to be wanted. And women are stuck between wanting to express their desire and being terrified of being judged for it. So when a woman wants to be with you, intimately, she often doesn't say it directly. She says it in code. She lets it slip between the lines. Maybe it's when she says, "I don't usually do this, but," or "you make me feel safe." Maybe it's when she lingers a second longer after a hug, or when she tells you about something that makes her feel broken, just to see if you'll hold that space. You see, most men think that women crave muscles, money, and mystery. But the truth, most women crave emotional safety. They crave a man who listens, who sees them, who doesn't just want to undress their body, but understands what undresses their soul. And when a woman feels that, when she feels seen, when she feels heard, when she feels safe, her desire blooms, she opens up. Not because you pressured her, not because you played a game, but because you were the man she could trust with her vulnerability. So this video isn't just about sex. It's about how to become the kind of man a woman desires deeply, not just physically, but emotionally, spiritually, completely. Let's break down the 6 signs, 6 sentences, that women say when they're craving that next level of intimacy, but need you to listen deeper. When a woman says, "I feel so safe around you," don't just smile and take it as a compliment. That sentence, those 6 words, carry centuries of silence, of fear, of conditioning. Women are raised in a world that constantly tells them to be careful. Careful with who they talk to. Careful with where they go. Careful with how they dress, what they say, how they smile. And when a woman meets a man and says she feels safe around him, she's not just being nice, she's revealing the deepest part of herself. She's telling you that something in your presence, in your energy, has allowed her to exhale in a way she doesn't usually get to. And in that safety, that's where her craving begins. Because here's the truth, women don't open up sexually in the same way men do. For many women, desire isn't a switch, it's a slow climb, it's a deepening, and emotional safety is the gateway. Her body will not crave what her spirit cannot trust. Her guard won't fall unless she believes she's not going to be judged, ridiculed, or discarded the moment she lets you in. When she says she feels safe, she's giving you the most precious thing she has, her vulnerability. Not just her physical vulnerability, but her emotional one. She's trusting you not to take advantage of that moment, not to turn into someone else now that she's softened. She's testing if the calm you've shown is real, or if it was a performance to get something from her. So when she says it, pause. Pay attention. Look into her eyes. Read her energy. Is she leaning in? Is her voice softer? Is she lingering in the moment, hoping you'll say something that confirms what she feels inside? And more importantly, what have you done to create that safety? Because women don't say this randomly. They say it after observing you, after watching how you listen, how you react when she's emotional, how you treat others, how you handle power, control, silence. Safety is not something you declare, it's something you build moment by moment. When she feels safe, she begins to desire, and not just a shallow, passing desire. I'm talking about that slow burning, all-consuming type of desire that makes her heart race when she sees your name pop up. That makes her remember your scent, your voice, the way your hands moved, not because they touched her, but because they didn't rush. A woman doesn't just give herself to you because she's attracted. She gives herself because she trusts that you'll respect the act, the emotion, the connection that comes with it. And that trust is born in how safe she feels when she's with you. That's why some men who may not be the richest, the tallest, or the most charming, still become unforgettable lovers. Because those men made her feel safe enough to surrender. And in surrender, she experienced something most women don't get often: freedom. So don't chase validation. Don't try to impress her with what you have. Instead, focus on how you make her feel when she's with you. Your presence is your power. Your calm is your charm. Your attention is your seduction. And when she says, "I feel so safe around you," know that she's not just hinting at desire. She's handing you the key. And only a man who's emotionally aware, grounded, and intentional will know how to use it. Would you like me to continue with lesson 2? You're different from other guys. When a woman says, "I feel so safe around you," don't just smile and take it as a compliment. That sentence, those 6 words, carry centuries of silence, of fear, of conditioning. Women are raised in a world that constantly tells them to be careful. Careful with who they talk to. Careful with where they go. Careful with how they dress, what they say, how they smile. And when a woman meets a man and says she feels safe around him, she's not just being nice. She's revealing the deepest part of herself. She's telling you that something in your presence, in your energy, has allowed her to exhale in a way she doesn't usually get to. And in that safety, that's where her craving begins. Because here's the truth: women don't open up sexually in the same way men do. For many women, desire isn't a switch. It's a slow climb. It's a deepening. And emotional safety is the gateway. Her body will not crave what her spirit cannot trust. Her guard won't fall unless she believes she's not going to be judged, ridiculed, or discarded the moment she lets you in. When she says she feels safe, she's giving you the most precious thing she has: her vulnerability. Not just her physical vulnerability, but her emotional one. She's trusting you not to take advantage of that moment, not to turn into someone else now that she's softened. She's testing if the calm you've shown is real, or if it was a performance to get something from her. So when she says it, pause, pay attention. Look into her eyes. Read her energy. Is she leaning in? Is her voice softer? Is she lingering in the moment, hoping you'll say something that confirms what she feels inside? And more importantly, what have you done to create that safety? Because women don't say this randomly. They say it after observing you. After watching how you listen, how you react when she's emotional, how you treat others, how you handle power, control, silence. Safety is not something you declare. It's something you build moment by moment. When she feels safe, she begins to desire, and not just a shallow, passing desire. I'm talking about that slow, burning, all-consuming type of desire that makes her heart race when she sees your name pop up. That makes her remember your scent, your voice, the way your hands moved. Not because they touched her, but because they didn't rush. A woman doesn't just give herself to you because she's attracted. She gives herself because she trusts that you'll respect the act, the emotion, the connection that comes with it. And that trust is born in how safe she feels when she's with you. That's why some men who may not be the richest, the tallest, or the most charming, still become unforgettable lovers. Because those men made her feel safe enough to surrender. And in surrender, she experienced something most women don't get often: freedom. So don't chase validation. Don't try to impress her with what you have. Instead, focus on how you make her feel when she's with you. Your presence is your power. Your calm is your charm. Your attention is your seduction. And when she says, "I feel so safe around you," know that she's not just hinting at desire. She's handing you the key. And only a man who's emotionally aware, grounded, and intentional will know how to use it. When a woman looks at you and says, "You're different from other guys," don't brush it off. Don't shrug and say, "Oh, really?" or turn it into a joke. Because that sentence, though it sounds simple, is one of the biggest invitations into her world. That's not just her being polite. That's her quietly revealing that she sees something in you that she hasn't seen in most men. And for a woman to say that, something in her emotional space has already shifted. She's not just comparing you. She's beginning to trust you. You have to understand what women go through. For many of them, interactions with men are often scripted, predictable. They've heard the same lines, felt the same rhythms, seen the same impatience. So when you walk in and offer a different kind of energy, not forceful, not performative, but real, it catches her off guard, in the best way. "You're different from other guys" means you're not rushing her. You're not expecting her to perform femininity for your validation. You're present. You listen. You're not talking over her. You're not trying to dominate the conversation. You're grounded in who you are, and that for her is rare. And let me tell you this: when a woman says that, she's also letting her guard down. She's giving you permission to keep being you, because what she's really saying is, "I feel safe to be more of myself around you." And that's when craving starts to build, not in a loud, explosive way, but slowly, deeply. The kind that makes her mind wander at night, the kind that makes her want to reach out just to hear your voice, the kind that makes her body remember the feeling of being understood, Men often ask, how do I get a woman to want me without trying so hard? The answer is in that sentence. Be different from the men who chase without substance. Be the man who isn't desperate for her body because he already owns his worth. Be the man who knows that her presence is a gift, not a goal. That difference is what pulls her in. And here's where it becomes powerful. Once she feels that difference, she starts to project her desires onto you. She imagines what it would feel like to kiss you, not because you flirted, but because you made her feel seen. She starts wondering how it would feel to fall asleep in your arms, not because you're the most charming, but because you gave her peace. She starts wanting you, not just physically, but emotionally. And trust me, when a woman starts craving you on that level, it's only a matter of time before her body follows her mind. Desire for women is born in safety, grown in mystery, and ignited in emotional connection. So when she says, you're different, she's really saying, I want more of this. She's saying, don't lose this energy. She's saying, you're affecting me in a way I didn't expect. And here's your responsibility. Don't ruin that difference by trying to be like every other guy after that. Stay grounded. Stay intentional. Keep holding space. Let her come to you. Because the moment you try to manipulate that moment, she'll feel it. And that spark will disappear just as quietly as it came. When she says you're different, she's hoping you'll prove her right. Don't let her down. When a woman says, I can't stop thinking about that night, she's not just reminiscing. She's not just being cute. She's opening a door to her vulnerability. She's telling you that something about that moment you both shared stuck with her. Not just physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually. That night, something happened. Maybe it wasn't even sexual. Maybe it was just the conversation, the way you looked at her, the calmness in your presence, the way you didn't rush her. Or maybe it was the way you touched her, not just with your hands, but with your attention, with your respect. You see, for women, intimacy is layered, it's textured, it's not just about bodies, it's about how a moment made her feel. When she replays that night, she's not thinking in images the way most men do. She's thinking in emotions. She's remembering how you made her feel like a woman, safe, cherished, seen. And when those feelings linger, that's when desire builds. So when she tells you she can't stop thinking about that night, what she's really saying is, you've taken up space in my emotional memory. I've replayed what happened, not just with my mind, but with my heart. And I don't know how to let go of that. That's powerful. And here's where most men go wrong. When a woman says this, many guys take it as a green light to push things forward physically. They mistake emotional openness for physical invitation. They rush. They start expecting more. They shift the dynamic from connection to conquest. And just like that, she shuts down. The craving turns into regret. The beauty of that moment turns into disappointment. You must understand, when she brings up that night, she's trying to reconnect with a feeling, not just an event. She wants to know if you remember it the way she does. She wants to know if it meant something to you too. If it was as special for you as it was for her. That's her test. That's her way of gouging your emotional availability. Because here's the thing, women crave men who remember the details. Who remember the silence between the words. Who remember the exact way she laughed. Who remember what song was playing, or how she leaned on your shoulder as the city fell asleep around you. And if you do remember, if you can meet her in that memory and speak to the emotion of it, that's when her craving for you goes deeper. That's when she begins to long for you. Not because she's lonely, but because being with you felt like a home she didn't know she missed. This is how emotional intimacy leads to physical intimacy. Not through pressure, not through performance, but through presence. You become the man who doesn't just share her body. You hold her heart in the moments no one else even noticed. So next time she says, I can't stop thinking about that night, don't just smile. Say something that proves you remember too. Say something that takes her back there emotionally. Anchor her to the connection. Remind her that it wasn't just one night. It was the beginning of something neither of you fully understood, but both of you deeply felt. That is what turns a memory into magnetism. That's what makes her crave you even when you're not around. When a woman looks you in the eye and asks, what would you do if we were alone right now? She's not just flirting. She's not just playing a game. She's testing something far more sacred, your energy. She wants to know how you handle power. Because make no mistake, in that moment, she's giving you power. The power to lead the energy between you and the power to ruin it. This is not a question for laughs. This is not the moment to be crude or careless. This is her stepping into the edge of her desire, looking at you across that emotional cliff and asking, can I trust you to take me there? She's not just craving your body. She's craving the experience of being wanted by a man who doesn't make her feel like a piece of meat. A man who can take her desire and hold it, respect it, and still lead it. You see, when she asks you that question, she's imagining something already. But what she's truly hoping for is a response that matches her emotional tone, not just her physical curiosity. She doesn't want you to pounce. She wants to know if you understand her rhythm, that feminine rhythm of slow unfolding, of sensual curiosity, of trust. So many men destroy this moment. They either go silent because they're too scared, or they go vulgar because they think that's what she wants. But a woman doesn't want a man who's afraid of intimacy. And she certainly doesn't want a man who turns every moment into a sex joke. She wants a man who can read her. A man who knows when her words are laced with meaning. A man who knows the art of teasing her imagination without making her feel used or cheap. This question, what would you do if we were alone right now, is an invitation. A whispered opening to a world that she's not willing to enter unless you prove you're the kind of man who deserves it. She's testing to see if you can flirt with her mind, not just her body. Can you make her feel seen, desired, special? Can you say something that makes her heart beat faster, not just her skin tingle? The men who win in this moment are the men who stay calm, who smile, pause, and respond with subtlety, with confidence. Maybe they say, I'd pull you closer, and we wouldn't rush anything. Or, I'd probably just sit in silence with you for a moment, and let you decide what happens next. It's not about saying the perfect thing. It's about owning your energy and not breaking the emotional flow. Because the truth is, what she really wants to know is, if I let go, will I still feel respected tomorrow? That's what her question is hiding. That's what's at stake in that moment. And if your answer makes her feel emotionally safe and deeply desired at the same time, she'll start craving more. Not just more of you physically, but more of you emotionally. She'll want to talk to you more, be seen by you more, let her guard down around you more. This is what women mean when they say, it's not what you say, it's how you make me feel. So the next time she asks you this question, know that your answer could either build something unforgettable or break the very thing she was beginning to give you. I don't usually do this. When a woman says those words to you, pause. Hear them fully. That's not just a disclaimer, it's a confession. She's not stating a fact. She's revealing a crack in her emotional wall. She's not talking about behavior. She's talking about vulnerability. And what she's really saying is, this version of me, the one that's opening up right now, this isn't something I let many people see. Women are taught to be cautious, to protect their reputations, to guard their hearts, to keep their desires in check, not because they don't feel them, but because they've been told that expressing them makes them weak, needy, or worse, easy. So when a woman says, I don't usually do this, she's quietly letting you know she's going against her own rules. She's stepping outside the framework she's used to living within, and she's hoping you won't punish her for it. This is one of the most delicate moments you'll ever experience with a woman, because in that moment there's tension. Not just sexual tension, but emotional tension. She's battling fear and curiosity. She wants to experience something deeper with you, but she's terrified of being judged. She's wondering if this is the moment you change, if you'll switch from being calm and respectful to being entitled, if you'll see her softness as permission to take, or if you'll continue being the man who earned that moment in the first place. So many men mess this up. They hear that line, I don't usually do this, and think it's their green light to go full speed, to press harder, to cross boundaries. But what they don't realize is that sentence is a test, a whisper, a plea. Please handle this version of me with care. I'm stepping off the edge. Don't push me. Don't mock me. Don't ruin this. When a woman feels emotionally safe, she wants to go further. She wants to explore sides of herself she normally keeps hidden. She wants to be bold, free, wild, soft, all at once. But she needs to know she won't wake up the next morning regretting who she was with you. That's why she says, I don't usually do this. It's her way of saying, if I open myself to you in this moment, will you still respect me afterward? And the men who know how to respond, truly respond, are the ones who don't rush, who say something as simple as, that's okay, you're safe with me, or, you don't have to do anything you're unsure of. These words are powerful, not because they're seductive, but because they center her. They show her that you're still grounded, still respectful, still emotionally aware. Let me tell you this, when a woman hears those kinds of responses, she doesn't retreat, she opens more. Because now you've proven that you're not like the rest, that your desire doesn't erase your integrity, that her boundaries don't threaten your masculinity. And that's when she starts to crave you in a way that's different from anything she's felt before. Because it's not just about physical closeness, it's about emotional surrender. You become the man she thinks about when she's alone, the man she trusts her softness with, the man she feels both safe and desired with, a rare combination. So if she says, "I don't usually do this," listen closely. Because what she's really asking is, do I matter to you even when I'm not perfect? Even when I'm unsure? Even when I'm choosing you despite my fear? Your answer to that question will shape the depth of the connection you build. When a woman says, "You make me feel like a woman," that isn't just about attraction. That isn't just about chemistry. That's not her complimenting your masculinity in passing. That is one of the deepest, most emotional things a woman can ever say to a man. It means that in your presence, she doesn't feel the need to perform. She doesn't feel like she has to fight to be heard. She doesn't feel like she has to carry it all. In that moment, because of you, she feels soft. She feels seen. She feels desired in a way that isn't about lust. It's about being fully accepted, embraced, and adored. You have to understand what it takes for a woman to feel like a woman in a world that constantly asks her to be hard. Many women have been taught that to survive, they must be strong, independent, in control. They've built walls, armor, routines. Not because they don't want to feel, but because feeling has cost them. Trust has cost them. Letting their guard down has left them hurt, disappointed, abandoned. So when a woman looks at you and says, "You make me feel like a woman," she's really saying, "You gave me a safe place to rest. You gave me permission to come home to myself." She's not talking about makeup or heels or dresses. She's talking about femininity, her energy, her softness, her sensuality, the parts of herself that often get buried under survival mode. You, through your stillness, through your presence, through your patience, allowed those parts to breathe again. And what's more powerful than that? What's more desirable than a man who doesn't just want her body, but awakens her essence? This is where real intimacy is born. Not in the act, but in the feeling before the act. When she feels safe in your arms, yes, but also in your silence, in the way you listen, in the way your eyes speak when your mouth doesn't move. When she knows you're not just trying to get something from her, you're honoring her. That's what makes a woman crave you. That's what makes her want to lie next to you and not say a word. Just feel. That's what makes her pull you closer, not because she has to, but because her soul needs to. That's what makes her dream about you, ache for you, miss you long after the night ends. Not because of what you did, but because of how you made her feel in her own skin. "You make me feel like a woman" is the moment she stops guarding herself against you. It's the moment her past gets quiet and her present gets loud. It's the moment she realizes that she's safe to love again. And that is not just rare, that's sacred. So the question is, how did you make her feel that way? Because you listened, because you didn't rush, because you didn't need to dominate the moment, but chose to dance with her energy instead. Because you held her not with your hands, but with your patience. The answer doesn't lie in technique. It lies in your intention. It lies in your emotional maturity. It lies in your ability to sit in the quiet moments without turning away. And it lies in your power, not to take, but to hold. So when she says, "You make me feel like a woman," let that be your confirmation. You're not just a man she likes. You're the man she wants to open up to. The man she wants to give herself to. Freely, completely. And once you've reached that place, know this, it's not a performance that got you there. It was your presence. And that's what she will never forget. So let me ask you something. When a woman looks at you and says, "I feel so safe with you," when she whispers, "You're different from other guys," when she smiles and says, "I can't stop thinking about that night," when she teases, "What would you do if we were alone right now?" when she confesses, "I don't usually do this," and finally, when she looks you in the eye, a little softer, a little more open, and says, "You make me feel like a woman, what will you do with that power?" Because that's what it is, power. Not the kind that dominates, not the kind that forces, but the kind that holds, the kind that protects, the kind that builds a connection so rare it stays with her long after you've left the room. Too many men today are chasing the wrong thing. They're chasing bodies, not moments. They're chasing validation, not connection. They're chasing the performance of being a man, not the presence of being one. But if you are the kind of man who can slow down enough to listen, who knows how to make a woman feel safe, wanted, and respected, you'll never need to chase. Because she will remember you, crave you, feel you, long after you're gone. And that is how real desire is born, not through game, but through emotional mastery. So if this resonated with you, if even one line in this video made you stop and think, then don't let it end here. Like the video if you finally understand what women are really saying when they don't say it out loud. Drop a comment. Tell me the sentence that hit you hardest, or share the moment you realized a woman wanted you but couldn't say it. And share this with a brother who's still confused, still chasing, still losing her interest because he doesn't know how to hear her silence. Because the truth is, women are always speaking, not with volume, but with feeling. And when you can hear her without her saying a word, that's when she'll want you, and only you. Subscribe for more videos like this. You're not just learning how to get women, you're learning how to become a man worth being desired by one. See you in the next one.